Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Give everybody a minute to pop on. It is a beautiful summer day. Hi, Jennifer. And we have some cute summer cards. Hi, Linda. Hey, Sandy. What's everybody up to today? Are you working or hanging out inside or outside? I took my youngest to the dentist today, so we got that over with, a filling. And I was actually concerned that she, hey Rosie, I was worried about her knowing that she got a needle because she's just never known that she got a needle before, and she's totally fine, the dentist. She's not scared of needles or anything, but I said, just don't tell her you're giving her the needle. And so they were very, discreet, and she came home and the freezing came out, and she's like, it really hurts where I got my shot. So I'm like, oh, okay. She wasn't upset. You did a little shopping at Market Mall. Good for you, Rosie. You're working today, Lorraine. Oh, you're going fishing next week. I've not been fishing in many, many years. Here's a look at these adorable little cards with lots of cuteness. I started putting these together, these little gnomes. They're the Lawn Fawn gnomes. So it's the Lawn Fawn garden gnome. I just stuck them on a magnetic sheet here. And it's a really nice die set. You get all 3 of the dies. And then I started making little outfits for them, and I thought, this is really cute. You can really dress these guys up and do some really fun things, and especially with the little 6x6 pattern papers, always have the really cute designs. If you were using Lawn Fawn, or if you had some 6x6 of the Doodlebug, those would be really cute, and you can kind of mix and match their outfits. And I actually used this Ink Drops candy with these pretty designs. There's both the 6x6 and the 12x12 in the shop. These are the newest one. There's a couple other ones. I think there was a vivid one and maybe an earthy tone, and the candy is the newest one. I really love the colors in it, and it looks like alcohol inks. So we did some cards with it last week, I think. And then some of the pieces I also cut out of this Watercolor Wishes, which is the newer Lawn Fawn paper. And then if you look at the backgrounds here, we have the Spellbinders embossing folder. So this is the plaid one, and it's out of stock, I think, at the moment, but it is coming back in. So that's one to watch for. Really cute, really great pattern. And then really loving this sun ray embossing folder. So I did these 2 with the sun rays, and we're going to use that one today in the one that we do. But even though this stuff is from a few different collections, the colors really match. It's out of stock. Everyone bought it. Yeah, it really shows nicely, especially on metallic. It looks good. So it did sell out quickly last week, but it is on order. And so you can watch for that when it comes back in. This one here, now there is a brand new Doodlebug Design craft, what's it called, cute and crafty, and it's brand new in the store. And there's the large 12 by 12, which always comes with this really great sticker sheet. And then there's a 6 by 6. This one here is the fairy garden, and I just noticed that it is still in the shop. I'm not sure how many are left, but it's a really good one. And also I noticed that Scrap Shotz has the individual sticker sheet that you can get as well. So there's lots of great stickers and images on that sticker sheet, especially if you're getting the smaller 6 by 6 pad and you want to pick that up. And so there's 12 double-sided, and then you get the sticker sheet in the 12 by 12, and that's the fairy garden, which I thought was cute with the little gnomes. And then I used the mini icon sticker sheet, which is there. There is also another 6 by 12, I think, sticker sheet. There's a bunch more. These are just the items that I had at home and I thought I would use them. And the odds and ends. So there's a chit chat odds and ends. You get a ton in these. This one is the ephemera pieces, the die cut pieces. And if you look at the images in the shop, you'll be able to tell which one is which. And then the chit chat has a lot of the words, which now I'm thinking I should probably order. So you get, like, I mean, there's 192 in here, and they're really, really cute. So whether you're using them on cards or scrapbook pages, like, look at that little wishing well. It is really cute. I love Doodlebug anyways. But there's flowers, and there's little bugs, and there's little, you know, fairy things, and I thought they went really cute with the little gnomes. So that's what I used today. And then these little bumblebees are still in the store, and they are the cutest. Look at these. You can even see, like, they have a little face on them. It is so cute. I don't know if that's picking it up. Hi, Gail. Like a little smiley face on that bee. And then the rainbow snowflakes, which I think look like really cute little rainbow colored flowers. So I thought all those kind of coordinated. I pulled them all out, and that's what I made the cards out of today. So we will put one of those together. And before we do that, I wanted to show you the new Wild Whisper line. It is so nice. I don't have everything here, but I have a few things, and it'll give you an idea of what's in the line. Let's just set that down there for a minute. And Sandy has a bunch of things in the shop. Now, I know Wild Whisper doesn't even have this stuff yet, so this is a sneak peek at a card that I'm posting on the Wild Whisper blog at 4, so you guys are getting a close-up sneak peek before it's even gone live. So I made this slimline card for my post today, and Sandy has most of these things in stock. So this here is the, I just grabbed a bunch of things, and I hope that I grabbed the, oh, I think it's in here. The tent, here it is. So this is the Camp More, Worry Less line. So I'll show you this first. That's the background paper, thanks Jennifer, that I used here, and it's got the canoes and the paddles, and here is the paper. And then there's 2 different stamp sets, so I'm still debating. I probably should get the camper one. There's a camper one as well, which is gorgeous. and this one is the tent edition. So they're both 4x4 stamp sets, and you can either, you know, get both, or if you want a tent or camper one, you can choose that. You've got the sentiment, well, a bunch of sentiments. Then you've got the tent and the little lantern. I colored these up with Copic markers. So you've got the little backpack. And then look at these little cups. I kind of tried to color them like those little enamel cups, but I love stamp sets with tenting. I don't like tenting. I like stamp sets with tenting. So I'm okay with that. And I've come to terms with just liking, I have lots of pictures of camping and tenting. So I have lots of things to scrap, and I love the pictures of them. And so that's why I decided to go with the tent one. And this one is the ephemera pack. So again, you can get the camper ephemera, or this is the tent ephemera. Yeah, really great stamp set. The camper one's really great as well. And I do like camper images too. I just thought I would use the tent one personally. So you've got lots of little things like all these little sentiments, and I really love how in this set they've added almost this distressed rustic element to the edges. Isn't that funny? Quarantine spelled camping. So you've got like little marshmallows on the stick, and I love that you have those hand-drawn elements that you'll find in other collections as well. And I think that's actually Heather's handwriting. So you've got the fire and all these things that are so awesome for scrapbooking. And I usually do scrapbook pages or pages in traveler's notebooks, but I thought, you know what? I just really wanted to color these up and put them on a card. So here's a look, just a quick look at all that ephemera. So that is in the store. So you're kind of getting a first chance at it because it's not even at Wild Whisper yet. Good things come to those who camp. Hiking would be perfect. Any kind of outdoorsy summer stuff. Stargazing, fire blazing. So those are great for, you know, you've got your, yeah, totally hiking. Any kind of, we do lots of campfires in our backyard, so those will be great for that as well. And then there are, let me set these aside. So then you get the card pack, and sometimes there's a double card pack. I'm not sure what Sandy has in right now. This is, if it's a double card pack, you get 2 of each, because sometimes it's hard to know whether you want to use one side or the other. And if you don't want to decide, sometimes you want the double one. I do love how now on the back of their information page, they put a whole piece of cut-aparts. And so you've got all those images again that you're going to find on the paper. You've got some journaling areas, lots of great flaps that you can add to your traveler's notebook or your pocket pages. Take a hike. So there's so many. I love that they have lots of sentiments as well. And there's a look at the campers. So the camper, that gives you an idea. I think those campers are included in that stamp set, but you can tell on the, if you look for them in the shop, and I think Rosie just linked that. This is the stencil that's actually coordinates with it, and I don't have that one, but it's really fabulous with the moon and the stars. So that's the coordinating stencil image. And I believe there's a bear stencil too. I just don't have that as well, but you can see that. And then the paper, of course, I have cut into it because I was playing around making that card. So there's the canoe paper, and then the bears. And then you always get something fun on those branding strips. And then there's the bears in a smaller pattern on the white background. And again, that's on your cover sheet on the back. So that's kind of a bonus. Then this one has all your cut aparts, all your images. And then images and cut aparts on the back as well. I don't know what a poop shovel is. Obviously, I have not done that kind of camping. And this is a really great cut apart with lots of sentiments. So these I think would be great. Just put below your photos. I don't know. Do you guys know what that is? Like, obviously, I know what it is, but why would you? I don't know. To me, camping is not where you go to have to use a poop shovel. This is a really great background. This would be a really nice background piece base for a card or for a scrapbook page. And I really love this with the pots and the kettles and those cups. And then again, that's that image that you can find in the stencil. And those are the campers that you can find in that camper stamp set. And there might even, so the ephemera, I believe there's a camper edition ephemera as well. And this is really cool. It's like the tent fly. It looks real. So that would be great as well. And then you have all these images that you could cut apart or you could use as kind of a background element. So those are fabulous. And I will be using those a lot for lots of camping photos. But I did want to give you guys a look. Now, if you can see in the background here, I've used this stencil, which I know it's sold out at the moment, but Sandy said she's going to get it back in. So it's going to be restocked. It's the Sweet Little One Rainbows. It's a 6x9 stencil, so it's really nice and big if you're planning on doing any slimline cards. And originally I had used Distress Oxides and just stenciled over this, and I actually used colors that coordinated with the paper and kind of with my images, and I was going to use it on here, but it just kind of, what I did was ink the stencil, stenciled through it, and then I had some ink on my stencil from the ink pads. I just sprayed it with water and then tapped it on a piece of paper. And for this one, I really liked the negative image better. Oh, you're checking. So Sandy's checking to see when she can get some more of these. They are super cute. So it ended up that I liked, I'll kind of give you a look at this background paper. I liked the background with this card, with the background paper and the stamped images. I just liked that negative kind of watery mixed media look. So I'm going to save this for maybe my next project. And I just die cut some circles out of it. But you can see like how detailed those are, and they are really cute. That hand-drawn rainbow look is so sweet. So you could do lots of different colors. But that's the rainbow stencil, and then we'll look at Nicole's stuff in a second. It's so gorgeous. So this is the coordinating set. This is the Sweet Little One. Now Heather just had a baby, and I'm sure that had something to do with them releasing this beautiful little baby set. I really like it because I struggle with baby photos and some of the baby collections that I feel just don't kind of match my photos. I just, like, they're cute, but I just have trouble pairing it. And also my youngest daughter, she is not a girly girl at all. She is total tomboy. You know, so this I thought is going to work really great. This will be great for boys or girls. And I do like, again, they have the baby girl ephemera and the baby boy ephemera. And you can use them all together. It's not really gender specific. I think this just has some of the sayings like welcome baby girl, and the boy one would have baby boy. But you can totally use them together, and they're really, really cute. So I'm not sure all of what we have for this line. I just have the stencil, the baby girl, and the paper. And I'm not sure, Sandy, was there anything else that we had in the store that was the sweet little one? So just to give you a quick kind of rundown, and this ephemera is a really good size. So I really have no excuse now to work on Erica's baby album. Her 3 or 4 pages that are in her album. We should be adding to that. These are cute, little sleepers. And even the bear images, totally you could pull in that camping line that has the bears. You have the ephemera for both now. Okay, so there's boy and girl. Like, these are so cute. And I love the colors. The colors are actually fairly neutral, so if you did want to pull in some pink or some blue to be a little more traditional, you could totally do that. You could add some inks in those colors. So these are so sweet. Lots of the little bottle and the words, and then those rainbows that coordinate with the stencils. And of course, lots of these things you don't have to use for baby things as well. The rainbows and the clouds and the bears, you could use those for any pages. So I actually like to mix and match my Wild Whisper. So that's the baby girl ephemera. Then the paper, I like getting a look at the paper because sometimes, you know, I always enlarge things on the website, and but it's not like actually getting a really good look at it. So this one has all your sentiments there, and playtime and story time, and so these are great for cutting out, adding them below your pictures or beside your pictures. This paper, I love it. This could totally be a picture of even like your mom and dad kind of thing, and a family photo would be really cute. And look at the little clouds, they're so cute. This is like a little, it looks like a little sweater pattern. Totally adorable. And then you have tummy time, bath time, story time. Then you've got the little outfits, adorable. Yeah, it is really unique. It's definitely not like anything that I have seen before, Lorraine. Got the little blocks. And then you've got these little banners and the bows. So you could use either side depending on what you're documenting. The little diapers. Cute. Oh, and this is the blanket, and then this one has little hearts. That's really nice. I like that. It actually looks like you have a blanket there. Then you've got that rainbow pattern. And oh, this is the other stencil I think that they have. So it's kind of the drops. And it's a very cool one. And definitely not baby specific. And then the rainbows again, these would actually be really great colored in. And you've got your cut aparts. I always love the cut aparts. They're so cute. And then the little banners on the bottom. So that is Sweet little one. Then we have Nicole's beautiful collection, and I have the stamp set and the paper here. I know that there's a stencil as well that I think might be sold out, but Sandy can probably, if you're looking for it, then maybe email her and ask her if she can get that back in as well. The stamp set is beautiful, and I love all the images. So this one is called, it's just the Ledger and Script stamp set. It's quite large, so it looks like it's like over, I think the stamp set itself might be 6 by 6. And you have all these words on it. You have all the individual letters and the numbers, so you can do your own little mini alphabet, which I think is really great. You've got this little scrolly thing. You've even got all these images, and then you have numbers, random numbers, and then you've got this background. I think a script background is always phenomenal to have with a to have in your stash, especially if you're doing any kind of mixed media. It's just great as a background element, and then this as well is going to be really great. And you could add those numbers and letters on this, or you can just use this in the background too. So I thought this was fabulous. And then there's the paper. So this is the double pack. So it's the same as the single pack, except you get 2 of each. So this is your cover sheet, and then on the back of that, I like how she's divided this into 6, so you'll actually find these in the paper pack, but it's the smaller image, sized down. So it's just beautiful. This, I'm sure she probably did on a jelly plate. You can see that mountain outline, and that's one of her stencils. And if you just search for Nicole Wright in the shop, you'll find everything she's got. Other collections, and Wild Whisper has other collections that are actually still in the Scrap Shot store. So be sure to check those out too, because they're all beautiful. Love this. This is one of her previous released stencils. And I do love how a lot of her papers have the white space, so it's just creates this really great background to start out with and layer on your papers, and it's kind of just so easy. This is great. And these papers are really great to die cut out as well. The weight is really nice, and it's a really nice feel to them. And anything that has print on it, if you put it through your laminator with some deco foil, the deco foil will stick to anything that has the print on it, which is kind of cool. So you can play around with that. And then you've got this really great design, all those fun layers that you can get with paints without all the mess. Here's some really beautiful colors. And then the reds. So if you still have some of her other collections, these are going to work beautifully together. Really love this. This looks like her grid stencil, which was a previous release. And there's the grid as well. Gorgeous. Love these pops of color. And then this is I think it's called Fanciful Blossoms stencil. And it's beautiful. So I think she has a couple stencils out, and I just am not sure exactly of the name other than the Ledger one. But those, and then this is one's the double pack, so we already looked at those. So that's a look at all the new stuff and a sneak peek look at that card that's going to go live today. So let's start making our card for today. And I've got a bunch of fun things. Hi, Gail. All right, so we are making this card today, very similar. He's going to be wearing a little bit different outfit because I felt like he should be, you know, I mean, so many outfit options. We have to kind of take advantage of that. I actually cut some out of yellow from that Watercolor Wishes cardstock and gave him a little blonde beard. And this guy has the white. So you could do brown, you could, whatever color, gray. Let's zoom in a little bit here. So we are going to use this Sun Rays embossing folder from Spellbinders. And I looked on their website and they have the most beautiful samples using this. I was really impressed at all the different things you could do with this. So we've got card base here. And I have just a piece of white cardstock. And we're just gonna pop this in. This is not quite as thick as the 3D ones, but it is thicker than the regular embossing folders. So I just put it in my Cuttlebug and left out the cutting plate for the sandwich, and that worked well. So we're just gonna run that right through. And I found running it back and forth once each way worked really well. So the detail on it is really phenomenal. And then last week I had showed a sample with some foiled cardstock, and that was amazing. I always love metallic or foiled cardstock, but I thought this week we're going for like a nice light, bright, summery look, and we've got lots of color, so I thought we'd stick with white. But just adding that embossed area in the back, actually, you know, it gives you some detail and still keeps it nice and kind of clean. So we are just going to stick that on. And this fits your A2 size card. So I cut this one down to 4 by 5 1/4, but you could go the full card front and it would fit in that folder. Then we have this cute little frame. So this is still in the shop and there's a bunch of new ones. Pink Fresh, this is the diagonal stitch circles. So you can see here, I ended up, you get 4 dies in this. I think the price is really great. You can either cut them by themselves. So if I was to cut this on the scrap of paper, I would have a full circle. But I decided I wanted a little frame, so I actually cut it with the little piece in the center, and so it cut out the center and it gave me the frame. And then you get the 2 sizes. So this was the smaller size, and then you get a larger size as well that would still fit on there. But there's a bunch of different Pink Fresh dies and they're well worth checking out. I use this a ton and it is still in there. And when I cut it, I decided that I would flip the center part over. So you get those nice little stitching lines. And then this is the 12 by 12 cardstock, paper paper pad for the fairy garden, and so I just used one of the full sheets. Cut it. So I'm going to glue on my little frame. And I'm kind of putting it up a little bit more toward the top. I also saw some samples where they just had a frame glued on, and it looked really cool as well, with just the, I think there was a white frame, and then they had other images around in the white frame. I think was centered in the middle, and that looked really good. I did like the words on this one, so I thought I would fit that right into the center. And then on this one here, I actually used the plaid, and then there was a cute little paper, the little images with the little bugs and the toadstools. And so I changed them. They're both the same paper with the backs, and I just changed them up for each of those cards. So that's our little middle piece. Then we have this little piece. It's from, there's a full sheet of like cut apart borders, and I cut that down to 4 inches. So that fits along our bottom. That gives him somewhere to stand. Now for this little guy, so you get these dies. This is the backing piece so that you can lay everything on him. So it's not going to actually show. I just cut it out of white cardstock, and then this is the piece where you're going to cut and have all your pieces. And the same thing here, you have your background for your little toadstool, and you could totally cut these out of whatever color you want. I just decided to go with the black and have the black outline, but you could have whatever color. You could have white, you could have gold or silver or whatever you wanted. And then he's even got the little lantern. So there's his little lantern. And what I found was really easy was using these sticky specks. So if you haven't seen these are sheets. You can get a whole pack. Yeah, and it's inlaid, but using the sticky specks, it's actually really easy. So you just cut a whole bunch. After I had them cut, then I could mix and match their outfits because they had to be, you know, sporty. So these sheets, this is the pack with the larger size sheet. I think it's like, let me see, I think it's 8.5 by 11. Oh, it's almost 12. It's like 11 3/4, and it has adhesive. As soon as you pull up this little sheet, nonstick sheet, you can see it's got all these little beads of adhesive. And I did not check. I hope that these are in the store. I see Rosie's linking something. But Sandy special orders these in, and they are fabulous. So they're called sticky specks, and you get the pack of them. I think there's 2 different sizes. You can either get a small pack or big, and you can reuse them. So if you had small images, I don't even know if you can tell, but here I actually laid down like a whole sheet of die cuts. You can kind of see where it picked up the sticky specks, and there's still some left on the sheet. The darker yellow would be the glue spots that are still there. You can reuse them. Like they will still work until it picks up all of those little sheets or all of those little dots. So they're all kinds of little tiny dots. So what I found worked really well was taking my little die cut piece. So this is going to be the top, and I flipped him over, and I'm using a new piece. You can kind of see in the light where you've used before. Then you can lay that down and press it in. Now, I liked doing this better than adding the glue to the little pieces. I felt like I had my glue on the backing and I could just lay everything down. You do want to use a little, or some tweezers is helpful because it grabs all those little bits of glue. And you can go ahead and use that sheet until it's completely used up. So if you can see there, I don't know, can you guys see? There's all kinds of little dots of glue that are now covering him. So we're just gonna lay that down. And as soon as you start adding things on, he's not gonna be sticking to you. So I grabbed a piece of parchment paper, and that way I could just control it a little bit at first. So he's laying down there, and then I'm going to lay this on top. So you do still have a few minutes, even if you got it in the wrong spot. I'm not really pushing it down hard until I get it in the right spot. But really, I mean, that didn't take long at all, right? And then I found if I used this parchment paper and just kind of burnished it down, it's completely gonna stay. So that's our outline, and now we've got this sticky backing that's going to work perfectly to add our little pieces. So here's all the little pieces we added, and I found having the tweezers just really helped with placement. And if you just place one side or one edge in at a time, then it just kind of falls right into place. But you do still have time to move it around. So if I wanted to push this a bit, I'm just fitting it in and moving it around. So he's got a little yellow shirt on. This paper is the Lawn Fawn watercolor paper. And then these ones here, so the hat and the rest of his clothing is from that Craft Consortium Ink Drops candy paper. So it just makes it super easy if you have the tweezers and you're just picking it up and putting it in place, and it's really quick. He's got little pink pants. Oops. So even though there's lots of little pieces, they're pretty easy to tell what's what. They're all different sizes. And you just run it through a bunch of times. Now you could just run it through white cardstock and you could totally color each piece with like your Copics, would go really quickly. So there's lots of different looks you could go for. And with his little beard, so I just cut this top piece out of white cardstock. And again, you could use lots of different colors. And I think gnomes could have whatever color. They could even have pink hair, don't you think? So we've got a little mustache, adorable. And for the face, a lot of times it's kind of hard to find a paper that you want that's a skin tone that you want. So you could, I'm just gonna poke his little eyes out, which sounds so drastic. And then I grabbed my markers. So I'm just using the E02 and the E00. And I'll just add a little bit of shading. You wouldn't even really have to do this. you could just add one color. You could give them a little darker skin tone if you wanted. And then this is just the E00, and I'm just filling it in with this. My marker is near empty, and I'm hoping it lasts until my refill comes in. Then these are his little hands. So we've got, I'm just going to use the E00 and just dab on some color. It does not have to be perfect. There. But really easy if you need, if there's a color that you want to use and you don't have that color paper, then just get out your Copics. And then a trick that I saw on the Lawn Fawn YouTube channel was after you have his little face in there, you line up the black part that cut out when you cut out the outline, and you just pop his eyeballs in there. And they're in, and they're stuck. So especially if you're using those sticky specks, they're gonna stick in there perfectly. Let's get a little closer. But these guys are so cute, and this little outline just makes him look like he's got like a little embossed image or something. You could even take that black and you could add some clear embossing powder to it before you added it, and then you'd have a nice shiny outline. There's lots and lots of things. So is he not cute or what? Oh, thanks, Stacy. Yeah, definitely helps to have the tweezers, but I think he's really cute. So the same thing with your little mushroom. And again, you can do whatever colors coordinate with your project. So again, I'm just laying this down. Now this is on a spot I hadn't used, but if I was putting it on a spot that I'd already taken some of the sticky specks off of, then I could lay it down a few times and just until it's covered. And it really does help to have your tweezers for that. So you can see there's all those little glue dots. And we'll do the same thing. We'll add our little black outline. And I think that they've made the background die just a tiny, tiny bit smaller than the outline, which is perfect because then it's so easy to get it on. You can see how it's like just a little bit smaller, and so from this side it's just perfectly sized. So then the next step that you want to do with your little mushroom is you want to put this piece in first, and then you can actually add the little circle. And it goes really quick. Now I decided you could do the same color, or you could do all different colors for your little mushroom colors. So this one here, it just turned out that the paper that I used, the way I positioned the paper on that ink drops paper, there was purple on one side and they kind of all turned out a different color, and I really like that. Yeah, really quick and very satisfying to complete. And pop that in there. Could even use one of those little sequin picker-upper things, but the tweezers work really well. And then you just give it a little press down. for the little lantern. You could do the same thing and you could cut out the little insides from your color. I don't know if you can see that. But what I decided to do was just cut out the backing from the color, and I added a little bit of this. It's the Opal Blaze polish. This one's the Sunset Orange. And I just put a little bit of this on the background. And it just adds a really nice shimmer. So this is what it looks like on black. If you did it on black cardstock, it would look fabulous. And then on lighter colored cardstock, you get a little bit different effect. It's still very shimmery and shiny. And then it's so warm upstairs, my glue is exploding a little. I'm gonna have to grab a wipe. But we'll get this on first. I'm gonna grab a wipe. You guys find that anything liquidy kind of reacts a little bit different, it seems, when it gets into the heat. And then I'm going to put on some crystal glaze, but we'll do that at the end. So we'll zoom back out there. So we've got our little lantern. And then I thought he looked so cute with these little elements from the Doodlebug things that we'll add a few on here. So I've got this big roll of this Studio Katia tape, and there's a few different, I think there's a 3L that's in this shop, but it's like humongous. You'll never run out of foam tape again. So this one is the Studio Katia, but there's I think a couple different kinds in the store, and they're all the big rolls. And I'm now gluey. It does help, I find, to have this little pokey tool. This is the Tim Holtz craft pick, and we'll put this little guy there. He's super cute. And then we can kind of just position these how we want them. We'll put this tape on him. This is really nice and sticky too. You're not going to have to worry about it coming off. And it does help to have some non-stick scissors. So he's going to be there, and we'll do this little mushroom. So what's everybody up to this weekend coming up? Do you have any plans? We were at I was at the store the other day, and after the mask bylaw in Calgary had been lifted, and we were still wearing a mask, but there were lots of people who weren't. It was kind of different to go into a store and see people not wearing a mask, but good. I think it's a good, I guess everybody's just got to do what they're comfortable with. All right, so we've got him. We're gonna put our mushroom over here. And we'll put this guy on first. That kind of feels like it's hard to believe that it's coming to an end. Hopefully. All right, he's here. we'll put this little lantern. You can make him holding it. Then this is from one of the the ephemera, the die cut odds and ends. This is from there. There's lots of flowers. And then we'll even grab the stickers. So these little stickers from the sticker sheet. There's a ton of different stickers you could have on this. And I'll just grab these little pink flowers. I put on a little flower like that. Thanks, Lorraine. Just stick those on. Any of those little bugs would look really cute as well. Okay. And then we'll grab our little embellishments. So we've got these rainbow snowflakes, which are super cute. I love the colors in these. I think they look like flowers. And this art glitter glue is fabulous for holding any of these on. If you don't have something that you like to use, it's well worth trying. I love it. We'll add a little green one here. The little metal top makes it really great as well. And then we'll put a little blue. And then these little bees, these bumblebees, if you haven't seen them, are super cute. So there he is with this little smiling face. We'll put him on too. So for the little lantern, I'll kind of show you what I did. I added a little drop of this crystal glaze. This is the Nouveau crystal glaze, and it's just a clear, glossy drops. And then I'm just spreading it out, just so it's in the background, and then you can just use a wipe and wipe your craft pick off. And then you've got the glitter behind it that we used. Thanks, Jenny. So that's really all there was to that card, even though like the little guy he's detailed, but not difficult to put together. And especially with those sticky specks makes it easy. So there's all these little guys, and they all have fancy little outfits. I kind of like it when I have the hat and belt and shoes kind of matching. This guy has matching hat and shirt, but you could totally decorate them however you wanted. And if you had a different paper collection that you were using, you could grab other colors that matched. Thanks, Rosie. Yeah, they're really cute, and those embossing folders are really fun with them. They look really cute. So the gnome, he is in the store. I'm not sure exactly how many's left, so you may want to grab them. Very cute. There's still lots of the Lawn Fawn from the new release that's in there, and this guy was from the new release from the Lawn Fawn. And yeah, lots of fun things. Look under the June and July new releases and you'll find lots of awesome, great things. Thanks, Sandy. Thanks, Stacy. Thanks, Jennifer. So I hope that you guys have a good weekend. Thanks for stopping in and crafting, and don't forget to share your projects in the Scrap Shotz paper crafting group, and just let us know what you're working on. There's a new challenge that's going to be there for the summer, so we want to see all your summer and water cards that you'd like to share with us. There's an album in the group, so load them in there. Lorraine has a beautiful card for inspiration. Thanks, Lorraine. And have fun crafting, and I will be back next Thursday with something crafty. So I'll talk to you later, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.